We're up to episode 7 of The Acolyte. Now, for me, I'm ambivalent right now. I'm 50-50. Would I ever watch the series again? Probably not. Do I want a second season? If it comes out, I'll probably watch it, but I don't need a second season. I'm looking forward to other Star Wars series. I think they had some really great things, and I feel like they had some really not so great things. I'm trying to keep it a positive, and one of the things that I did not like about the show is the parallel between Osha and May and Anakin as being virgin births. I think that totally took away from Anakin being the chosen one for the whole Star Wars series for the Skywalker saga. You know, he was supposed to be the chosen one. He was going to bring balance to the Force and destroy the Emperor, which he did in Return of the Jedi. And then Disney came out and they reintroduced the Emperor, so that even more so killed Anakin's image as the chosen one because Palpatine came back. And then you have Osha and May, who are these virgin births to these witches who can manipulate the Force or whatever they're doing, the dark energy or whatever, the thread. They have Osha and May, and then you have Anakin, who was the same thing. You know, he was the virgins in the Force. That's what Qui-Gon said to the council when he met him. I found a virgins in the Force, and then that's what they totally said in episode 7 about Osha and May. They were virgins in the Force that created all this life to come forward, and it totally lessens the impact of Anakin Skywalker in the series and him as Darth Vader also. But a lot of people don't care. I do care. If you feel different, that's fine. I disagree with you, but that's fine. You're entitled to your own opinion, and I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. I might like to debate. I love debating, but I found this article on thegamer.com, and it talks about how are Osha and May born. So I want to share this with you. So they're just showing May, actually. Star Wars Acolyte, how were Osha and May born? You would have thought that they would have gotten a picture of Osha also, but even though they are the same actress. Star Wars Acolyte follows the story of May and Osha, two Force-sensitive twins who follow parallel threads of fate, one on each side of the Force. The series follows the twins on their journey of self-discovery and attempts, albeit poorly, to portray the two sides of the Force differently. Much like one of the most famous characters in Star Wars universe, May and Osha came to the world in an apparently virgin birth. They have no father and coincidentally are both very Force sensitive. How exactly were they born, and is their origin similar to that of the aforementioned famous character? The unavoidable Anakin connection. I'm starting to hear the rainbow connection in my head, Kermit the Frog singing. Star Wars Acolyte delves into one of the most controversial topics in all of Star Wars, virgin births. Before the series aired, there was only one known case of it in the universe. It was obviously the birth of Anakin Skywalker, who was born fatherless. The show creators were brave enough to touch on this very contentious topic and went even further, doubling up the ante. The twins were carried by Mother Coral, but used the surname of Mother Aniesa. I forgot what her name is. Mother Aniesa, their supposed creator. In episode 3 of the series, a conversation between the two mothers confirmed that. In a way that has yet to be explained, Aniesa created the twins. The similarities are obvious. Both the twins and Anakin were born without a father, conceived through pregnancy without intercourse. The three characters are very Force sensitive. That is where the similarities stop, though, and the problems emerge. The issues with this parallel. Anakin Skywalker has always been described as the chosen one. He's always been seen as the only person in the Star Wars universe who had a virgin birth, an obvious comparison to the beliefs surrounding Jesus Christ. It is understandable that fans aren't too happy with the addition of two new characters who were apparently born in the same way, because it obviously undermines the idea of the Chosen One, which has been a core pillar of the Star Wars universe. But that's not all. There isn't a specific consensus around the birth of Anakin Skywalker, but Star Wars Legends and the Darth Plagueis books have given us enough information to build upon. Anakin wasn't really created by Darth Plagueis or Darth Sidious or by anyone specifically. He is a creation of the Force, as close to a divine birth as the Star Wars universe will ever get. This means that not even a master and apprentice duo as powerful as that of Plagueis and Sidious was capable of creating a being out of their will, despite studying and practicing to do so over decades and decades. Plagueis is said to have reached an impressive level of knowledge in bioengineering in hopes of reaching immortality, but not even his apprentice, Emperor Palpatine, managed to succeed in that pursuit, because he killed him and he didn't have all the information. How is it then that an apparently random witch managed to create twins through the use of the Force, or as the Coven calls it, the thread? And if Mother Anastasia was powerful enough to accomplish this, how could she be so easily felled by an accidental fire? Which we find in episode 7, it wasn't a fire, it was lightsaber. Then how exactly were Osha and May born? What we know so far is that they were conceived without their father, carried by Mother Coral, and created in some way by Mother Anastasia. If what has been shown in the Acolyte is the truth, May and Osha were not born in the same way Anakin was. While he was a creation of the Force itself, they were made by another human being in a manner that has yet to be explained. Despite this, we also know that there's a lot more to this story than what we've been shown so far. There have been new theories popping up in forums every week surrounding the twins, and we might not have a clear answer until the very last episode of Star Wars Acolyte. What do you think? Do you buy the story that we've been shown so far? Or is there more to the Anastasia family that meets the eye? So there you have it. The article says that there's a lot of parallels between Anakin and May and Osha, and then there's not, because basically Anakin was conceived by the Force, not by Plagueis or Sidious, but Osha and May were when, I guess, Mother Anastasia pushed the thread into Mother Coral. So, and it created the twins, which also there's a parallel there too, because we have Luke and Leia who were twins, and here's the deal. I think that Leslie Headland did great on certain things. I just think that she could have gotten people who knew Star Wars to become writers, because apparently she hired a whole bunch of people that were not familiar with any Star Wars at all. Even some of the actors were not. One of the actors said that Anakin blew up the Death Star, killed millions of people. Anakin blew up the Death Star. Well, that's wrong, you know, and a lot of people who are hardcore Star Wars fans don't appreciate that. They take offense, because if you're going to mess with something as sacred as Star Wars, we're going to get upset. And I don't think they took into account of that. They think they're doing a great job. You know, I love the production value of the show, not so much the writing of, you know, the dialogue, the way the Jedi are so meek and undecided. Those aren't really the Jedi from the Phantom Menace or Attack of the Clones or Revenge of the Sith. You know, the Jedi there were, you know, they didn't have any hang-ups. They were straightforward, going for it, and there was no like mental weakness. Basically, here it's just mental weakness. But I'm not here to talk about that. I do like the show. Like I said, I'm ambivalent about it. I just want to see if it wraps it up nicely in episode 8 and gives us all the answers we want. You know, Leslie Headland got her shot, and you know, whether she gets another one, we'll see. If she does, I'll watch it. until something just is over the top that I don't like. But I'm gonna watch it. But let me know what you think below. Do you think that making May and Osha a virgin birth took away from Anakin, or do you think it doesn't matter, or do you even care? For me, I care. I cared about Anakin, and I think that he's the chosen one, and that's what George Lucas had in mind when he created Star Wars. And I'm just curious what George Lucas's overall thought about this whole Acolyte series with these inconsistencies that have been happening and creating like cracks in the canon. So anyway, let me know what you think. And I'd love to hear what you say. I don't care if you are for it or if you're against it. I love hearing from you. And if you are really interested, you should really check out this video. May the Force be with you always.